Very warm welcome to you here today to the fabulous World Trade Center here in Dubai. And of course, as you can see on the screen and up on the boards here, the Draper-Aladdin Start-up Competition. Now, just over there on the right-hand side are 15 companies that are going to be vying for a prize today. Now, the winning company will receive a minimum of $30,000 worth of investment. That will lead and could lead up to another amount of $500,000. So it's an important competition today. Now, after that, they will go into an international competition pool where they can compete on the Draper-Aladdin TV show in the States and pitch to 12 million people worldwide to receive another $500,000 worth of investment. Now, before we get underway with our pitches, and we'll tell you how it's all going to work in a little bit, we have 5 very good-looking gentlemen who are going to be joining us here on the stage. These are the best photographs they could submit to us today. So looking like their photographs, you could be judging them a little bit later on. Anyway, we hope you get involved with today's event, and we'd love you to cheer on our competitors as we go on through the competition. Now, that is going to be taking place in a little bit. But we are going to have our panel discussion first, and can I ask you to give a wonderful World Trade Center welcome to the founder and CEO of Aladdin Business to Be, Ala Ismail, joining us to the stage. Ala, come and join us to the stage. We have Bashir Sami Al-Kasna, the founder of ASME Professional UAE. We have Walid Tarabi, the founder and CEO of Platex. We have Hadi Saeed Al-Kashuri, the business incubation manager at Saudi Aramco. And all the way from the United Kingdom, Matthew Gardner, founder and CEO at A1 AI. A round of applause to our judges. Now, you can see the prize, actually, that our startups are going to be vying for. That's the trophy that they'll be winning at the front of the stage here. And, of course, that wonderful, huge sum of money. Now, how are we doing, gentlemen? Is everybody ready for a nice, easy, fun session today? Well, listen, welcome to all of our judges. Now, our judges today will be voting through an online portal system via an app that has been amazingly put together by Ala and his team to allow them to monitor the performances of our pitches as we go on through the day. And if there is a tied heat at the end, the guys will get together and find out who our winner's going to be. Now, my first question to you, Ala, at the end there is, tell us a little bit about the competition itself, how you came up with the idea and why it is very important to a prospect company to win today.
Thank you, Lee. Hello, everyone. So basically, we established the Draper-Aladdin Start-up Competition to help startups raise funds really faster, right? We know it's a challenging journey for the startups internationally and in the Middle East. So they come on the stage, they tell us what they want to change in the world with their burning desire. And if they win, they're going to get up to $500,000 worth of investment from the Draper Associates. And that's what we really wanted to do, is to reach out and search for the startup hero and make it easier for them to say, you have access to fund and you can really get fund relatively fast from the United States into the Middle East.
Now, of course, it's all themed around the travel exhibition that we're here hosting today. Now, Hadi, a question to you. Our competitors who are going to be on the stage very soon, what makes a difference in your eyes as judges to what they can do to hopefully impress you today?
Usually the team, number one, the background of the team, how they're identifying the gap, and how smart are they when utilizing the resources to solve the gap in the market. Usually they sense the energy from the entrepreneurs that they're capable to adapt, they have high capability to pivot. Usually those are the main elements that we look into it when we judge startups.
Now, Matthew, I'm going to come to you this side to me, if you can. Now, AI is a phrase that we hear not only in the travel market itself, but around the world in all sorts of businesses. What sort of difference is AI making in the travel sector currently, and what are you looking for these guys to deliver today?
I'm looking for anything really new. AI has having really deep impact, I'd say. I mean, even when you use Google or Instagram right now, it's very busy in the background doing everything. And cutting right through to Singapore, you'll find maybe a robot will bring you your lunch for room service. But also in terms of bookings, the whole back end and the front end is really being dramatically changed by AI. So we're looking for any company which really is ready for the change. They may not be doing AI now, but are they ready for the future? And that, along with crypto and open banking and APIs, I think is essential. We're all going to be doing this in 10, 20, 30 years' time.
Waleed, thank you for that, Matthew. Waleed, tell us a little bit about PlatX and what your company and your experience is going to be looking for today.
Thank you, everyone. We're looking at anyone who's looking at the future of tourism in general. I think we're getting into a virtual world where you're going to be doing tourism virtually. And there is a huge hype of metaverse, where basically it's a huge opportunity for tourism. And we're looking at any company who's playing in that space, how they can develop digital twins for spaces, museums, artifacts, where you can trade them with crypto, right? And where you can basically, if you take an example of the Expo, for example, you invited 25 million people. If you have a digital twin on the cloud of Expo, probably you can attract 1 billion people who can pay like $5.
Well, I know, actually, I was hosting the Expo TV shows, and when Coldplay came along, they had 60,000 people just around the Al Wasl Dome, but 120 million people watching on the virtual experience itself, just for that one night. So what you're saying is absolutely straight on the money. Bashar, tell us a little bit about your background and what you're looking for from our contestants today.
Thank you. Actually, I'm coming from the mechanical engineering background in Khalifa University, and my area is actually robotics. However, I see and I have a lot of applications related to entrepreneurship, because I see the need in the region for entrepreneurship to change their status quo in terms of income and basically creating jobs rather than seeking jobs kind of mentality. And we are coming across a lot of hurdles doing that. So as faculty members, actually, we try to set role models. And currently, actually, I'm founding 2 different startups, one related to the EdTech, and the other is related to robotics, which is my area of research. So I would like to see more of such events to create the ecosystem that we dream about in order to create the passion that we seek in our students, locals or basically internationals, because this is highly needed right now, right here in the region.
Exactly. Now, Ala, you are obviously behind this wonderful organization and the competition, the startup competition, whether it's be GITEX or the Big Five or here at the wonderful travel show and all around the world. What have previous winners of the startup competitions gone on to achieve and do?
Yes, thank you. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
So we had so far 6 competition in different trade shows. The trade shows are our partners. Without them, really, we cannot make this happen. And we have done it in the GITEX. We had 120 startups on the stage, and we got winners. We have done it in Big Five, AIBC. So far, we did 6 successfully. And we had 2 startups already receive their fund. One received $500,000 and the maximum prize, and one received $250,000. And since then, they are doing really great in the development, spending the money in developing great technologies and help them to even raise further fund.
No, I was going to say, because obviously I've hosted a couple of your events before, and one of the things that you see in some competitions is headline prizes that nobody actually wins. It's like, you could do this, or you can possibly do that. But it is a real prize that people can win, not only the $500,000, but another $500,000 on the Draper-Aladdin TV show. So yeah, it's definitely worth concentrating on, right?
Yes. I mean, basically, if you win this competition, right, you get a chance to go and meet the Draper TV show. It's a TV show that Mr. Draper and his family runs. And if you really win again, you get another $500,000, and there is like a 12 million viewers. It's like really the Shark Tank kind of a show. The idea of this stage really is to not only for the winner, there is only one winning startups, but also for other startups to get a chance and pitch their presentation and their ideas and their dreams in front of a big audience. and in front of other investors. So we're giving everyone really a chance to have a good shot for winning.
Well, let's hope so. Now, Hadi, one of the things as a judge and obviously a businessman yourself is how do you like people to form their pitches? How do you like people to put together any advice to any of the guys listening at the moment? How would you like them to kind of form their presentation for you today?
So usually we like the storytelling. Like you would say, you start with the problem, why it's there, addressing the pain points that exist. Obviously, from investor point of view, they want to see the market size, how scalable the business is, the team behind it, what are their expertise, how they can pivot the business if needed based on the market, when they're going to reach their break-even point, what distinguishes them from their other competitors within the market, what market they're planning to penetrate, is it horizontal or vertical scaling. All these points are important to be addressed in the pitch in order to convince the investors to be part of their journey.
Thank you for that. Matthew, the one thing about AI is obviously it seems to be never ending what you can do with AI. You can take a trip to the Burj Khalifa, you can go to Atlantis, to Palm, you can go wherever you want to with AI. In the travel sector, how hard is it for somebody to impress you who's come up with an idea that is going to make a difference?
It's quite difficult. I think people don't really understand. Quite often AI is just machine learning, so ML. If it's true AI, it's with predictive analytics, then it's really impressive. So if they're able to marry that to a realistic idea or something which is happening or is likely to happen soon, that's impressive.
Walid, what are you looking for today? What are you hoping to see? I know there are 15 companies over there who are vying for the prize today to impress you guys, but what is it you're hoping to possibly see today?
I think the most impressive thing is how you put technology together these days. So there is a lot of mega trends in the globe. If you can value engineer something out of AI, blockchain, metaverse, all these new mega trends, if you can put it together in a way that you add value to tourism, I think that's what we're looking for.
And Bashir, same question to you. What would you, just to give our competing contestants an overview of what our esteemed judges are here to judge, what would be impressive for you today?
Again, echoing what Mr. Hadi was saying earlier, that we'd like to see the storytelling behind this technology development. The formation of the team, is it basically, do they complement each other or a replica of each other? And basically how the financials that they put forward, are they putting their skin into the game? Are they basically really passionate and basically having sleepless night to develop the technology? Or it's just a hobby and with first basically challenge that they'll give it up and go away? No, we need somebody who is really committed and he will take the challenge, because startups is not easy. It's not for everyone. It's for those who are really passionate and can basically do the hard work behind it. So this is my advice for anyone who seek entrepreneurship and startups. Basically make sure that you are able to deliver.
I totally agree, because we have had these, not here with Ala and his team, but startup competitions all over the world where people try to create an answer to a problem that sometimes actually isn't a big problem or isn't actually there. Hadi, when you see an event like we've got here today at the World Trade Center with literally thousands of people here, we've had a two and a half year hiatus with the word that we all hate to use, COVID, obviously. It must be very exciting to get out, meet people, touch elbows, shake palm, however we're doing it these days. It must be really exciting for you and as a businessman to open up the doors for new business.
Yeah, obviously, one of the things that you should provide the startups as the ecosystem, the players that are needed. And thanks to Aladdin for doing this event. Basically having startups working with big corporates and having also experts within the game that help basically to create synergy between the startups, the corporate, and other players within the industry itself. So it's really happy to see people getting together again.
Now, Ala, over the wonderful competitions that you've run all over the world in different marketplaces, what is the kind of common denominator that startups need help with when they start up their business? What have you experienced is a big need for them?
It's a very good question. Basically, a startup needs help in several areas, but to be honest, it comes down always to support with fund. I mean, if you have the best idea in the world, but you don't have the right team, it will not work. And to assemble the right team, you really need to pay them salaries, right? And you need to attract the best people that you can attract. And for that, you need fund. Of course, you need also to have experience in the field you are going to create your business. So always the founders who are, let's say, have a background about their industry, but they need maybe mentoring into a little bit of finance, cash flows, and all these things are important. But the most important thing really is to have the right idea, the right time, supported with the right fund. Because again, if you also have a lot of money and it's the wrong time and the wrong idea and the wrong team, it won't work as well. So yeah, it's a combination really of several factors.
Matthew, that was a good point, because we hear the phrase, you know, all the crypto phrase, and they're sponsoring from F1 and everything these days to NFTs. My 12-year-old son, 14-year-old son, sorry, had to explain to me the finer details of an NFT. Anybody know what an NFT is, by the way?
It's okay if you don't.
Just if you don't
worry.
Well, ask if you've got any children near you. They'll ask. I know so many people who've made so much money and they're under 21 from NFTs. And Matthew, that's hugely important, knowing what to work with within your business sector. Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite a hidden world at the moment. It's coming forward. I mean, Instagram has said they support NFTs from tomorrow, I think. Coinbase now has an NFT platform. You can buy them with your MasterCard. So yeah, they're beginning to come to the fore, but yeah, it's kind of specialist knowledge. It's not something to play around with. We've seen the price of Bitcoin halve overnight. Yesterday, it's had a big effect on the market. So yeah, you need to know what you're doing. And just to Hadi's point as well about being back here, it's fantastic to be here with people in a real environment. And just to the point we're making about teams, I've done some good deals in crypto and worked with some good, strong teams who haven't met yet over the past 2 years. So I think we can also do things online if you do have a strong team with strong credentials who can be verified as well. I've done some quite thorough checking on them. So I think we have the best of both worlds now. We're all here, but also over the past 2 years, we've learned how to work online together. And for me and many other people I know, it's been really successful. And NFTs and Metaverse are part of that. So there's a lot to learn on NFTs, but it's worth learning, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. We had one of the very most famous Greek chefs who was, when I was hosting the Expo exhibition recently, he made more money in 1 month from NFTs, taking pictures of his food that he created, than he did do in chefing for the last 5 years. I mean, that's huge, right?
Yeah, I know someone who made more money in Q4 21 than he's made in the whole of his life. So it's definitely boom time. Yeah. Be careful, though.
Be very careful. So who would like to take the question? How is modern technology, AI, crypto, how is it going to really work within the travel sector? Who would be most versed out of you wonderful guys? Walid, over to you.
Thank you. I think everything that you know right now from tourism point of view can be digitized as NFTs and put on the cloud. However, the big competition will be big between corporates and governments. So who own the rights to monetize that artifacts of Egypt, for example, right, on the cloud? Is it Egypt or is it Facebook? So that's where governments has to start moving on how we're going to own our own digital assets on the cloud. If I need to own or I need to use the pyramids in a movie of Hollywood, they need to pay Egypt, not the guy who make his money in the fourth quarter of 2021.
Confusing, right? My good.
I just had a point. The UAE arrived in Sandbox, so they arrived in the metaverse last Thursday, was it? Yeah. So all the big banks have a space there, but UAE now have a space in the metaverse as well, to your point, Warren.
Yeah, well, one of the fastest moving regions in the world, of course, where we are today, with constantly being awarded awards for what the UAE is achieving. Well, I mean, it isn't quite impressive in this region for our new startups, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think we were discussing right before the session, we cannot ignore that 300 million people probably in the globe are digital nomads right now. So they're going to be tourists and they are doing their work from anywhere. Ala is one of them and his team. So you can do job from anywhere. And now cities are competing on how they can attract most of these people into their countries, even remotely, right? How can I create virtual visa, virtual offices, virtual courts? how they can basically transact. Even if they don't live in Dubai, they're still sitting in Maldives and doing work in Dubai and transact from Dubai. So this is going to be like a 1 billion by the end of this year of digital nomads, and countries are competing how they can attract the most of these people as tourists or entrepreneurs.
Well, I was speaking to the Governor General of Estonia recently, and 99% of their country's platforms are worked out online. Tourism is a huge thing. The only thing you can't do in Estonia online is get married and get divorced. Everything else you can do online. So, and with their travel sector, they've pushed their whole platforms towards online and obviously giving people options to pay in different funds. It's incredibly important. Hadi, for you, when you kind of see yourself in this industry, I mean, all these different phrases, cryptos, NFTs, everything, how do we, you guys as businessmen, work out which is the correct way to take the business forward? Hadi, sorry.
Could you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, I was going to say, when you kind of hear all the different ways of businesses that are operating with crypto or with NFTs or however people are pushing their businesses online, how do you kind of get the best advice to the people about how to proceed to go forward?
So actually, you addressed a really good question. A lot of people use those buzzwords or emerging technology words in their pitch, like AI, blockchain, metaverse, cryptos, and all that. You have to demonstrate how valuable this technology in your business and how you actually, let's say, blend those technologies within your business to come up with your own recipe that you are a real technology company. And instead just listing all different names and saying AI, blockchain, image processing, and all that. So it's always about the demonstration, saying the backbone, the team behind it, and obviously how the business itself will be relying on those technologies when you are doing the assessment for investment.
And Ala, we are not long away from starting our competition. I know our clock's not started here, but I'm going to give us another 5 minutes or so, gentlemen, and then we're going to get underway because we are trying to get the competition started on time. It must be very exciting for you to be here, and of course, bringing these wonderful companies, 15 companies, I can see them all peering around thinking, is it my time to shine yet? But what, for you, is the most satisfying thing to come out of one of these startup competitions?
Thank you, Lee. I am fortunate to be part of this event today, well-organized event, I would say. To be honest, I am an entrepreneur myself, and I know the pain to get successful. And it's really a hard journey. And the most important thing is really in this hard journey to be supported and to feel that you are not alone. That's why places like Silicon Valley is super successful because of the ecosystem. And that's why we are seeing in Dubai a lot of support, and this amazing environment is getting created to attract entrepreneurs and to attract investors. And this ecosystem is the most important thing, and I'm fortunate to be just contributing a little part of it.
I just want to add that I would like to see the tech industry related to travel to complement rather than replace actual physical, basically people traveling and knowing each other, knowing the cultures, etc. Because, I mean, the dangers of just being satisfied with a virtual tour of the pyramids of Egypt, I mean, you are not basically democratizing, or you are not disputing the wealth across all the basically merchants that you'll see on the road, taxi drivers, etc. I mean, if it becomes only and each companies who are utilizing the impact and the benefits of having these virtual tours. I mean, you like to see like augmented reality to enrich the experience of traveling rather than replacing the actual physical traveling.
It's like our senses, isn't it? I can remember particular periods in my life from very early based on my best friend's mum's perfume or something like that. You can remember a smell or a fragrance, and as you say, going somewhere is the best way to experience it. So we're moments away from starting our competition. Judges, you've got your score sheets there ready to go. We're going to reset and get our competition underway. I think we're about right on time. How are we doing, Ala? Are we all right to go? We're all good to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to our judges for the moment. Thank you very much, judges. A round of applause to them. We're going to redo the seating, and they're going to be watching our wonderful startups get under play, and I'll introduce you to a bit more. Thank you, guys.